5-6 years ago, I ended up getting a tryout with the Los Angeles Kings. And I think anybody that's seen my YouTube vlogs, you listen to the podcast, you're a first-time viewer, thanks for joining the podcast, by the way, or you're a day one OG, you've seen the LA Kings tryout vlog. True or false, Dave?
Oh, listen, it was funny. I don't think we've really explained how you and I came to be doing this, but I was a follower of your vlog from very close to the beginning. Not realizing that you were a fan of my podcast, and you had sent me an email one day commenting on the podcast. I'm like, is this the same Travis Ridgeon that does the vlogs? I've been following your vlogs for years, and we just had this mutual admiration for each other. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the whole tryout and the Trav for Oilers and the journey that started off the whole vlog.
Yeah, and I remember seeing on on the YouTube home dashboard, you get an update of subscribers. So you get X amount of subscribers in the last 28 days. You see of those subscribers who has the biggest following. You look lifetime to find the biggest YouTubers who follow you. And there was a period of time where Dave was actually, I remember seeing your name pop up for like recent subscribers who have a bigger following. This is when you're still working at 92 City. I believe it back in those days. But so the LA Kings trial was such an interesting turn of events. And actually, so Nick the goalie that we talked about last week, him and I, we went gear shopping to kind of go browsing the other day. And we ended up getting into this conversation about that. And this is kind of why it came front to mind, and I thought we'd talk about it for this week. So the LA Kings had a contest to basically win to be an emergency backup goalie. This is back in 2017, 2018. And it was because the previous year, the Florida Panthers went, Luongo went down, Al Montoya goes in, Montoya goes down, and then they bring Luongo back in, and they have to dress the goalie coach to be the new backup. And then the NHL said, well, you have to have an emergency backup on hand just in case something crazy happens. And then hence Scott Foster goes in and wins the game for the Chicago Blackhawks, shuts up the Jets, by the way.
Against my Winnipeg Jets, yep. It's happened in Carolina as well.
David Ayres, the Zamboni driver, beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's
the
happened
idea,
a few times.
The idea is, I think the new rule now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but each home rink has to have basically a neutral goaltender that can go in for either team if something like that happens.
No, I don't know how you define the term neutral, but yeah, so every team, the home team supplies emergency backup goalies. So last year in Dallas, Thomas, I can't remember his last name, ended up going for the Ducks when they were playing against the Stars. I know for the Winnipeg Jets, they only take the University of Manitoba goalies, so they'll alternate. I remember a couple years ago it was Byron Spriggs one night, and then they changed to Justin Pollock, Dason Sedora, and they just alternate through the University of Manitoba goalies for the Jets. And so every team does that. And the NHL said everybody needs an emergency backup goalie, and then I guess the Devils and the Kings and the Panthers ended up doing a contest out of it, a social media contest. And I remember seeing the contest, and people messaged me saying, hey, you should put an application in. And I thought, come on, there's no way I'm going to get picked for it. But you know what? I got some free time today. I'm still in university. I'm going to, throw an application and try to make somebody's day in the marketing office when they read this. And I just put, name Travis, last name Ridgeon. I play junior hockey for the Arborg Ice Dogs at this moment in time. And why should you be picked to come, try out for the Kings and be the emergency backup goalie? And I think the description I put in that box was, I would have the greatest Tinder profile picture of all time if I came down to this tryout. I promise you that. And then I remember a week or two later, or maybe it might have been a couple days later, I get an email saying, hey, this is Luke Robitaille. Congratulations, you've been invited to come try out for the LA Kings. The tryout is in 2 days. Here's the details. And I remember thinking to myself, this is a prank. There's no way this is real. And then I ended up looking online. The Kings announced, hey, we've contacted the people. They're going to be invited to come out. I see other social media people like Linda Cohen. I think Barstool announced, she posted the email, the same one that I got. And I thought, holy shit, this is real. And then so I ended up the next day, because I hummed and hawed over it overnight, because keep in mind, I'm in university. I'm not full-time on YouTube. I'm still playing junior B hockey. I'm working a part-time / full-time job because YouTube ain't paying the bills. I hummed and hawed. Should I do it? Should I not? And I thought, you know what? Whatever. I want to go to LA. I'm going to go do this little tryout thing and see what happens of it. Booked the ticket. It was like a $800 round trip from Winnipeg to Calgary to LA and back. I go, I buy the ticket, I take the day off or 2 days off of university, tell my junior team I'm going to be gone for a few days. I go down, I check into the gate, and I think to myself, what am I doing? I just spent $800 I don't have to go fly down to LA to go skate with a bunch of their coaches and take shots.
To have an experience of a lifetime.
I didn't know that at the time because in my head I thought, okay, I'm going to make a cool video. It might get 4,000 views, might get 5,000 views. At this point, the junior hockey vlog that people seem to love was doing 10, maybe 20,000 views, maybe a little bit less every time I posted a video. But I'm already checked in at the gate. I spent the money on the trip. Whatever, we're gonna go do it. So I spend the whole time just kind of worried about it. I just spent a lot of money that I don't have. This is a really bad idea. But let's try to relax and try to enjoy ourselves. And obviously, People seeing the viral clip of me asking out the LA Kings reporter, Caitlin Bates. I can't remember what her name was, but she worked for Fox Sports, and she did an interview with me. I asked her out live on TV, and she said, "Oh, I have a boyfriend." I said, "Well, I'm not asking about your boyfriend. I'm asking about your number. And besides, even if you do, you could have two." And so that ended up popping off. I remember later that night seeing like on all the local LA news the clip of me, hitting on her on live TV, and thinking, "Oh, it's interesting. This is like on all the news channels." So okay, whatever. So I do my video, I go home, I post the video, it does like 4,000 or 5,000 views overnight because I posted at like 8 or 9 p.m. at night. Next morning, next afternoon, it's quiet, still same thing. I finished university that day, and so I'm out of school by like 3 or 4 p.m. 250,000 views, just exploded. It's on the front page of the NHL.com, LA Kings website. The Kings have reposted it, like it's everywhere. Even Linda Cohen reposted the video, and I'm like, this is crazy. This thing's taken off, and that video exploded to now, I guess, 1.5 million views on YouTube. It's my most viewed video by far. And that video, the experience changed my life because I remember gaining like 10,000 subscribers in like 3 days that day or over the next couple of days. I got sponsorship opportunities. It just helped kickstart my YouTube career, making original videos in a way that I never would have otherwise. And it was the most life-changing moment and event that I've ever had on YouTube up to this point in time.
Well, Andy Warhol said something about 50 years ago or so and said, everyone will have their 15 minutes of fame. Now, what you decide to do with that is totally up to you, but I don't think he knew how, maybe he did because he was an absolute genius, but I don't think he realized how right he was going to be when the age of social media came about.
It's so true. Like think about the concept though, even 10 years ago, how would I, Travis Ridgen, in real reality, a junior B hockey goalie in Manitoba, get my name out to people and be able to help and influence the goalie community and win a tryout for the LA Kings? Like that never would have happened otherwise without the social media realm of everything.
Well, Will Smith tells a great story, not too dissimilar from yours, when he was asked by Quincy Jones to audition for the role of basically to do the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And he said he had to take the bus there. And basically there was a party going on and whatnot, and it was right in the middle of the party. He's like, why don't you just show us what you got right now? And he realized in that moment, either I do this and they say no, or I don't do this and I wonder forever, what if I would have just did it? And he did it, and he ended up becoming the Will Smith we know. The slapper! The slapping Will Smith! He ended up
Keep
becoming
your
that,
wife's name out of your mouth.
But it comes down to, what do you do with that opportunity?
Well, I flew my drone in the parking lot of the Toyota Sports Center. I went and hit it on a news reporter live on TV and wouldn't take no for an answer. Similar to so many reasons why I was able to win so many radio contests on even your station that you worked at for many years. True story. That's actually another story. We should get into that later. I won Shinedown tickets from you twice. Well, from 92 City twice. Both times didn't go. But we'll get into that at a different time. And that LA Kings opportunity it changed my life. It changed the whole outlook that I had and prospects I had on making YouTube videos and being able to have this be my full-time job, full-time income the last 4 years. And now this podcast taking off is again because of the LA Kings.
Well, let me be the first to congratulate you. And, again, Nelson Mandela, judge me not on my success, the amount of times that I've been knocked down and I got back up. So if we're going to talk NHL, there's a gripe that I have that I want to get into. But speaking of life-changing events, I told this story on my radio show, but I'm over the age of 40 now, and so I got to go in for the uncomfortable checks with the doctor once a year and whatnot. And believe me when I tell you, everything's fine, by the way. Sheath underwear has really, especially at I'm 43 years old, it's been life-changing for me to actually have a set of underwear that I know it sounds weird, but like rely on and just know that everything's going to be right there when I get back.
It truly is life-changing. From the bamboo mesh technology, it is cooling. On a hot summer day, there's nothing better than putting on a pair of Sheath underwear. Even right now in the winter, I put in brackets if you're watching the video version, winter here in Vancouver, Sheath underwear is cutting edge, and I'll tell you why. It is because of their dual pouch technology, which is a separated, segregated compartment to put your dick and your balls into. They both go into separate spots so they don't touch. They physically cannot touch because they're divided by the amazing bamboo mesh technology in the pair of Sheath underwear so that they can breathe. They won't be sticking to the side of your legs. So, for example, I don't know if you can hear it. There's a construction team working on building a new building right outside of my apartment here where we're recording. I bet you everyone on the job site, all 200 members there, got their balls and their dicks stuck to the side of their leg. But if they were to take off their construction high-vis vest and put on a pair of Sheath underwear, they would feel great. They could probably work 12, 16-hour shifts instead of the 8 and 10s that they're doing right now. But they and you can do that as well. You got to go to sheathunderwear.com. Use the code BISKIT69. That is BIZKIT69. That's going to get you 20% off the greatest pair of underwear money can buy. And there's a reason Sheath is the presenting sponsor for this podcast every week, because you cannot get better than a pair of Sheath underwear. It's owned and operated, founded by a former U.S. Marine in Robert. And Robert just continues to change the game with his Sheath underwear technology.
Robert, this may sound weird, but thank you for taking care of my junk.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
Pop culture.
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.